Very warm welcome to all of you this Monday morning. Hello, hello, hello. So, as usual, on your right hand side, you should see a chat box. If you can quickly say hello and just to see that you can hear me okay. Welcome, Liliane. Welcome, Lucas. Welcome, Derek. Welcome, Stephen. Welcome, Jeffrey. Welcome, Marjorie. Very warm welcome to all of you guys this Monday morning. I hope you guys had a fantastic week, and I hope you are ready for another even more amazing week. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let me just quickly share my screen with you guys. All right. So today what we're going to be talking about is emotional intelligence. Now, some of you guys have heard of emotional intelligence and why it's important in business and workplace, etc. There's a lot of research now going on because up until very recently, the only sort of thing that people used to look at is IQ or intelligence quotient. But now more and more research are going on about emotional intelligence and why it's so important. So since our business is a very emotional business, I wanted to share with you guys this Monday morning some of the stuff. Number one, just to really give you some understanding of what emotional intelligence is. And then number two, maybe even give you some tools or some idea where to work towards in order to improve it and to get better at it, and what would you actually need to do to get better at it. So we're going to look through all of those. But number one, what is emotional intelligence? Well, emotional intelligence is really how we handle ourselves and our relationships in the four main areas. The first area is self-awareness. So it's knowing what we are feeling and why we are feeling it. So this leads to good intuition, good decision making, and is generally a moral compass to somebody. Number two area is self-management, which means then handling negative emotions so they don't cripple us, right? And also marshaling positive emotions. So it's really just being in charge of your own emotions and not letting your emotions run you, but you run your emotions. And using your emotions, you can achieve better and bigger things in life and in business. Now, the third area is empathy or social awareness, right? So knowing what someone else is feeling, okay? Which is also extremely important because we are in people business. So we really need to build relationships and build rapport with people and understand how they're feeling about different things in order for us to be able to be better at what we do. And then the fourth area, probably where all of the other areas go to work in, is the skilled relationship, right? Or relationship management. So this is where we basically build relationships with other people and communicate with other people in an effective way, okay? So basically, I'm going to go through 18 signs of emotional intelligence, and really they can be used also as tips to what sort of areas you might want to work towards to improve your emotional intelligence. So the first area of emotional intelligence that I want to talk about is having a robust emotional vocabulary. You see, all people experience emotions, but it's select few who can accurately identify them as they occur. Most people, about 36% of people only can do this, right? Most people can't do it, right? Because they just basically know a couple of the main emotions like anger, feeling bad, etc. And that's pretty much it. But really, there's so many different words how we can name different emotions, from irritable to frustrated to downtrodden to anxious, etc. So the more specific your word choice is, the better insight you get into what exactly you're feeling and how you're feeling it and what caused it and what you should do about it. So just building this emotional vocabulary where you identify what do you feel and why do you feel this, etc., can make big difference, okay? Item number two is, being curious about people. In this business, we always say, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. But it really, in emotional intelligence, it's really, really important. So it doesn't matter if you're introverted or extroverted. If you're an emotionally intelligent person, you will be curious about everyone around you. And this curiosity is the product of empathy. One of the most significant gateways to a high emotional quotient, if you like. Okay, so the more you care about other people and what they are going through, the more curiosity you're going to have about them. And guess what? The more relationships you're going to build with people, because people go, wow, that person actually cares about how I feel. That person actually cares about what's going on in my life. And this way you will be able to build massive relationships. I've listened to loads of like top business people, especially in our industry, and who say, look, you don't need any special techniques, you don't need any manipulation, you don't need anything to build good large organizations and to find leaders. All you need to do is listen to people. Really listen to people. If you really listen to people and hear where they're coming from, you'll be able to build a relationship, and they will like you, they will trust you, and they will want to join your business. Number 3 is you want to embrace change. Okay, emotionally intelligent people are flexible and constantly adapting. They know that fear of change is paralyzing, and it's a major threat to their success and happiness. So they look for change that is lurking just around the corner, and they form a plan of action should these changes occur. So what you want to be doing is thinking that the only thing that is constant in life is change. So you cannot escape change. And those people who embrace the change and who really enjoy the change, guess what? They grow as people, they grow the business, they grow the personal life, they grow the relationships, and they succeed in life. But those people who don't want change, who are really, stuck in their mental state and stuck in their lives, that's why they find it so difficult to grow, and they want to earn more money, but because they're afraid of changing anything in their life, they're being stuck in the same place. Area number 4 that I wanted to talk about is knowing your strengths and weaknesses. So again, emotionally intelligent people don't just understand emotions, they know what they're good at and what they're terrible at. So they also know who pushes their buttons and environments, both situations and people that enable them to succeed. So having a high emotional quotient means you know your strengths and you know how to learn, lean into them, and how to use them for your own advantage, right? While keeping your weaknesses, at bay. So really, again, identifying what am I good at, and how can I use that to make more money, to build larger business, to get more people in business is vital. Because a lot of people choose not to identify, especially what are their weaknesses. They go, oh, I don't have any weaknesses, I'm good. But guess what? Every one of us have strengths and weaknesses. So when you identify them, you can then work around them and see which of them you can use to really get better in business. And if you have some weaknesses, guess what? The beautiful part of our business, I always say, if you're not very good at presenting, guess what? Recruit somebody who is. If you're not very good on computers, guess what? You need to recruit somebody who is. So you can actually recruit people who can compensate for your weaknesses. So if you can't do something or you're not very good at something, find a person and bring them into your organization who actually are good at that thing. Okay, number 5 is being a good judge of character. Much of emotional intelligence comes down to social awareness, the ability to read other people, to know what they're all about, and to understand what they're going through. Over time, this skill makes you an exceptional judge of character. People are no mystery, when you learn this. You know what they're all about, you understand their motivations, and even those who are hidden beneath the surface, right? So knowing somebody else's motivation and being a good judge of the character is an amazing skill to develop in this business. Because guess what? Again, most people will have different motivations in business. Not very few people are actually motivated by money. I mean, everybody needs money, but very few people are actually motivated by it. So learning how to judge somebody's character and how to dig deeper and find out what is their actual motivation is incredible, because it'll help you to, again, grow your business and to really know what ticks people. Okay, number 6 is emotionally intelligent people are difficult to offend. Okay, so if you have this firm grasp of who you are, it is very difficult for someone to say or do something that really drives you nuts. Okay, emotionally intelligent people are self-confident and open-minded, which creates a pretty thick skin. They are rhino skin. And these people, even they don't mind making fun of themselves, in front of other people, because they are so confident about them, right? So reality is, again, you need to be able to manage your own emotions, especially like the way you look at what other people think of you, and how other people will look at you, etc. This is one of the biggest things that will stop most people in this business, because they're scared of rejection, because they're scared of failure. And actually, very few people actually are scared of failure. But what most people are scared of is failing in someone else's eyes. Because guess what? If you're doing something at home, you failed at it, you just try it again and try it again and try it again, and you don't worry about it, right? But as soon as somebody else is looking at you, you get stressed because, oh my gosh, they're looking at me, and what if I fail, right? So this is really what a lot of us, we need to work on, because reality is that it doesn't really matter what other people think. Your success is not determined by other people's opinions. And I always say, when you are making all of the money you want in life and you have the life of your dream, will you care what those other people think? And most people say, no, I won't care. So I go, why do you care about what they think right now? It makes no difference whatsoever, right? So being a difficult person to offend is a really, really good trait to have. Okay. Number 7, emotionally intelligent people know how to say no. Okay, to themselves and to others too. Okay, so emotional intelligence means knowing how to exert self-control, right? So it's delaying gratification and avoiding impulsive action. That's one of the biggest things. People who are not very good with emotional intelligence, they will be very impulsive, especially to things like anger and rage and things like that. Again, this is really, really important. No is a powerful word, and you should not be afraid to use it. When the time comes to say no, emotionally intelligent people avoid phrases such as "I don't think I can" or "I'm not certain." They just say, "Look, no, this doesn't work for me. I can't do that," or etc. "I'm not gonna do that," and they are not afraid. And one of the things I always say to people, you have to learn how to say no to people who are going nowhere and they want company. Okay, because a lot of people are time wasters, and they will want your attention and they will want your time, and you need to learn how to say no to them. Okay, number 8 is emotionally intelligent people let go of mistakes. Okay, so emotionally intelligent people distance themselves from their mistakes, but do so without forgetting them. So they learn from them, but they don't ponder on them, right? By keeping the mistakes at safe distance, they still are handy enough to refer to, but they are able to adapt and adjust for future success. Okay, and it takes redefined self-awareness to walk this thin line between really dwelling on these failures or these mistakes, and just remembering them and learning from them. Okay, because if you're dwelling for too long on your mistakes, this makes you anxious and shy, right? While forgetting about them completely makes you bound to repeat these mistakes again. So the key balance here is to basically transform these failures into nuggets of improvement. So this creates tendency to get right back up every time you fall down, and actually with more energy, with more passion, because now you know another way how not to do it. I love the story about Edison, where when he was inventing the light bulb, he pretty much failed like 10,000 times. And this journalist asked him, they said, I mean, how did that make you feel, failing like 10,000 times? And he goes, well, I haven't failed 10,000 times. I've just learned 10,000 ways how not to invent a light bulb, right? So really, really important to learn from your mistakes, because if you don't learn from your mistakes, then it was wasted, really. It has to be a lesson, but not to allow these mistakes to paralyze you, to stop you from doing it again. And that's what happens very often when people fail at something. They get paralyzed. they start dwelling on it and they go, oh my God, I'm not good at this, I will never succeed, etc. That's the worst thing you can do. Okay, so you need to learn from it and move on, go and try again. Okay, number 9, very, very big sign of emotional intelligence and very big area to work on is to give and expect nothing in return. To give and expect nothing in return. When someone gives you something spontaneously without expecting anything in return, this leaves a very, very powerful impression on you. And this is really, really important. For example, you might have an interesting conversation with someone about a book, and what you see, and when you see them again in a month or so, you show up with that book in hand. And emotionally intelligent people build strong relationships because they're constantly thinking about others, right? And the reality is that this business is really, really drives on that. A lot of people go, oh, but I've showed this person information, I showed this person information, showed this person information, they haven't joined my business, so I give up. This is whatever, this is not working. But guess what? I don't want to get spiritual here or whatever, but the universe has its way. If you just keep giving, sometimes the return will come from completely different place, but it will come. So you just need to keep giving the information, giving the help, giving the support, giving the encouragement to other people, and guess what? You will get yours as well. It will come around. Number 10 is not holding grudges. Not holding grudges, again, it's a very strong trait of character. So negative emotions that come with holding on to a grudge are actually a stress response. And just thinking about events sends your body into this fight or flight mode, a survival mechanism that forces you to stand up and fight or run, for the hills when faced with the threat. So when the threat is imminent, this reaction is, of course, essential for your survival. But when the threat is ancient history, holding on to that stress wears havoc on your body and can have a devastating health consequences over time. So this way, some researchers actually show that holding on to this stress contributes to high blood pressure, heart disease, and other health problems. So holding on to this grudge means you're holding on to the stress. And emotionally intelligent people who know how to avoid this one at all costs, right? Letting go of a grudge not only makes you feel better, but it also can improve your health. And I always go, the 9 times out of 10, you are holding a grudge against somebody or something that doesn't really care about it. One thing I loved was a story that I heard from Wayne Dwyer. And he goes, I used to get angry at traffic, but then I realized that traffic doesn't care. It's going to be there anyway. Whether I'm angry at it or I'm not angry at it, it's going to be there. So traffic doesn't give a monkey, how you feel about it, right? So you might as well just get over it and start using that time and that emotion more productively, right? So now if I get stuck in traffic, I just play an educational, CD or motivational or inspirational or whatever. So I use that time to learn, to develop myself or whatever, right? Or make some calls, I don't know, whatever, right? So don't hold on grudges, and especially against people, because that will drain you emotionally, right? So learn how to just go, look, whatever, in your own mind, just go, I forgive you, or whatever, and just let go of that. You'll see how good that is. Number 11 is emotionally intelligent people neutralize toxic people. So dealing with difficult people is frustrating and exhausting for most, right? But especially in our business, it is inevitable. You will have to deal with some people who, how to say it nicely, are not the sharpest tools in the box, right? And not really the most nice people, etc. And guess what? We need to learn how to deal with them too. So high emotional quotient individuals control their interactions with toxic people by keeping their feelings in check. When they need to confront a toxic person, they approach the situation rationally. They identify their own emotions and don't allow anger or frustration to fuel the chaos, okay? So they consider the difficult person's standpoint and are able to find solutions and common ground. Even when things are completely derailed, emotionally intelligent people are able to take the toxic person with a grain of salt and avoid letting them or him or her bring them down, okay? So again, I mean, a lot of negative people or these toxic people, they've learned how to manipulate people through just being the way they are, right? And by using guilt against them, by using other things against them. So if you learn how to neutralize these people, they'll soon realize that, I can't manipulate this person, I can't get them mad or whatever. And that's a very, very strong trait, and it will help you not only in business but in all areas of life. Okay. Area number 12 is that emotionally intelligent people don't seek perfection. They won't set perfection as the target because they know it doesn't exist. Okay? Human beings, by our own very nature, are fallible, right? So when perfection is your goal, you're always left with a nagging sense of failure that makes you want to give up or reduce your effort. You end up spending your time, thinking, what you failed to accomplish and, what you should have done differently instead of moving forward, right? So excited about what you achieved and what you accomplish in the future, right? So it stops you from going there. Okay, so this is really, really important, especially when you first get started and when you get a brand new person started. I always tell them, look, don't try to be perfect. Don't wait until you got the presentation perfect. Don't wait until you know every single product in our 700 product range, and every single component in that product. Is that because if you do that, guess what? You will never get started. So I always go, imperfect start is good. Start imperfectly. Start and then learn by developing yourself, etc. So don't seek this perfection, because if you seek this perfection, you're not going to start anything. Same like these webinars or the training events or anything else for that matter. If we waited for it to be perfect, oh my gosh, we would never even get started with this thing. Okay, so you just need to start whichever way and then learn as you go along. Okay, area number 13 is you need to appreciate what you have. Taking time to contemplate on what you're grateful for isn't just merely a right thing to do. It also improves your mood because it reduces the stress hormones like cortisol, etc. And research conducted at universities found that people who work daily to cultivate an attitude of gratitude experienced improved mood, energy, physical well-being, etc. So it's really, really important. And a lot of, again, the top leaders in our industry that I learn from and I look at their trainings, etc., a lot of them have what they call gratitude log or gratitude diary, where in the morning or in the evening they would write things that they're grateful for in their life. Too many of us, we are always chasing this carrot. We are chasing this big vision that when I get to that income, that's when I'm going to be happy. When I get to that level, that's when I'm going to be happy. When I get that car, that's when I'm going to be happy. But reality is that is not really the way you want to go about in life. You want to enjoy the journey and not just the destination. Okay, so you need to be grateful for what you already have. Just simple things in life. Just the fact that you woke up is a gift. Fact that you can listen to this webinar, you can understand what I'm saying, is a gift, because some people don't have that gift. The fact that you have your hands and legs and body and sound mind is an incredible gift. There are people who would give away everything to have what you already have. Okay, so this is really something that shouldn't be taken lightly. Be grateful. And also, when you start building your business, when you start building your group, you need to be grateful to these people. You need to make sure that you give people the praise and the recognition that they deserve for doing what they do. Because I see a lot of people who wants to see themselves as leaders, and they don't even recognize the people in the organization who worked hard to achieve certain things, right? So you need to be really, really grateful and recognize other things and all the gifts that you're getting in your life. Okay, item number 14 is you disconnect. Now, what do I mean by disconnect? Well, taking a regular time off the grid, as we say it, is a sign of high emotional quotient, because it helps you to keep your stress under control and to live in the moment. When you make yourself available to your work 24/7, you expose yourself to a constant, stream of stresses. So focusing, yourself and going offline, sometimes is very, very important. Just turning your phone off gives your body and mind a break. And it's really, really, really important. Technology enables us this constant communication, and the expectation is that you should be available 24/7. And it is extremely difficult to enjoy stress-free moment outside of work when your email and your text messages and your WhatsApps is ringing every single moment. Okay, so you need to learn how to take the time off. And it's very important also to, in order to plan your time, in order to etc., to sometimes just to take some time off. I loved how Jim Rohn used to say. He goes, I go to the mountains with my portable house, and he goes, I've got all my fax machine, I've got my computer and my internet, but I'm in touch but out of reach. Right? So I'm somewhere where nobody can find me, but I'm connected to the world, etc., when I want to be. So it's really, really important sometimes just to take a couple of days off, or to take even an hour off, and just to spend some time with yourself, and just to go over things, just to relax, and just have a little bit of me time to take the stress off. Okay. Number 15, you limit your caffeine intake. Okay, and drinking excessive amounts of caffeine triggers the release of adrenaline, and adrenaline is the source of the fight or flight response. Okay, so the fight or flight mechanism sidesteps the rational thinking in favor of faster response to ensure survival. Now, this is great when the bear is chasing you, but not so great when you're responding to an email, or something like that. So when caffeine puts your brain and body into this hyper-aroused state of stress, your emotions overrun your behavior. So caffeine's long life, ensures that you stay this way, and it takes a sweet time working its way to your body. So high emotional quantum individuals know that caffeine is trouble, right? And they don't let it get the better of them. Now, I don't mean if you're having a cup of coffee in the morning and another one at lunchtime, it's a tragedy. But what I mean, you shouldn't be having maybe 10 cups of it, or especially, when we talk about the energy drinks, because they have even higher concentration, so having loads of those is definitely not good for your body. And really being a self-actualizing individual, you need to understand that you not only have to take care of your mind, but you also have to take care of your body, because that's the only place you have to live in, right? So you need to look after it. Okay, number 16 is you need to get enough sleep. It is difficult to overstate the importance of sleep to increasing your emotional intelligence and managing your stress levels. When you sleep, your brain literally recharges, shuffling through the day's memories and the information, storing and discarding them, which causes dreams, of course, so that you wake up, alert and clear-headed. So high emotionally intelligent individuals know that their self-control, attention, and memory are all reduced when they don't get enough of the right kind of sleep. So they sleep enough, right? So it's important to get enough sleep. Different people need different amounts of sleep. Some people can operate absolutely fine with 5 hours of sleep a day. Other people need 8 or 9 hours, etc. You will know whatever the amount of sleep you actually need. But what you need to do is make sure that you get that sleep, and sleep is something you can't catch up on. You can't go, the whole week without sleep and then I'll catch up on Sunday. It doesn't really work that way. It still takes the toll on your body. So you need to make sure that you're getting enough and the right kind of sleep. Okay. Number 17 is you stop negative talk in its tracks. It's really, really important. The more you ruminate on negative thoughts, the more power you give to them. What you think about, that's what comes to reality. So if you're constantly thinking of negative things, guess what? You will get more negative things in life. So most of our negative thoughts are just that, thoughts. It's not facts. When it feels like something is always or never happens, this is just your brain's natural tendency to perceive threats, inflating the frequency or severity of an event, right? So emotionally intelligent people separate their thoughts from the facts in order to escape the cycle of negativity and move towards positive new outlook. Some of the new people that start in the business, I see them sometimes say, yeah, but if I talk to them, they're not going to like it. They're not going gonna join me, and they're not gonna buy any products. So basically, before it even happened, they start priming their brain for the negative outcome, right? And guess what happens? If they expect, that's what they're going to get, because you get what you expect. So if you expect negative things to happen, you will get negative things. Now, it's one of the things that I always teach my team members, and some people think I'm weird that way, but I don't ever watch news. I never read newspapers, and I never listen to the news on the radio. So this is one of the things I do. And some people go, "Oh, that's strange. How can you live without, knowing what happens, etc." Guess what? If there's a hurricane coming our way, I will know it. Everybody will tell me, right? But the reality is, if you think about it, human brain is like a computer. They say rubbish in, rubbish out, right? So whatever you're putting in your brain, that's what you're going to get more of, and that's what you're going to get out of it. Now, if you're watching news and reading newspapers and listening to the news, guess what they are full of? They are full of negative information. Who killed who stole from who, what happened, all the tragedies and everything, because negative stuff sells the newspapers, it sells the news, right? But guess what? If you keep loading yourself with all of this negative, pessimistic, horrible information, guess what type of person you're going to become? A whistling, happy-go-lucky person? I don't think so. What you're going to become? You're going to become that negative, pessimistic person who doesn't even expect for good things to happen in life, because there's so much horrible stuff, right? So you need to learn, and I mean, that's my advice always, is to just stop. Just stop, at least for 21 days. Do it, what we call a positive mental diet. For the next 21 days, don't watch news, don't listen to them on the car radio, and don't read newspapers. You will see how it will start changing. And instead, replace that time. Instead of that time watching the news and reading newspapers, spend the time listening or watching something that is motivational, inspirational, or educational. And do that for 21 days. The things that will start happening in your life, I promise you, you're going to go, I don't want to ever go back to watching news. I promise you that. You don't want to put this negativity into your head. Okay, and the last item, number 18, you shouldn't let anyone to limit your joy. When your sense of pleasure and satisfaction is derived from the opinions of other people, you are no longer the master of your own happiness. When emotionally intelligent people feel good about something that they've done, they won't let anybody else's opinions or remarks, take that away from them. While it's impossible to turn off your reactions to others and what others think of you, you don't have to compare yourself to others, and you can always take other people's opinions with a grain of salt. And that way, no matter what other people are thinking or doing, your self-worth comes from within. And especially in our business, it's really, really important that you wouldn't take others' opinions. I always say you have to separate advisors from coaches. Now, you will get a lot of advisors in this business, and advisors basically are people who don't have what you want to have. These people are also broke. They also haven't got anything in life, but they will be the first ones to advise you that you shouldn't do business, you shouldn't work hard on it, you shouldn't do this, that, or the other, etc. So they love to advise people, but they haven't got any degree of success themselves. What you should use is not advisors, you should use coaches. And the coach is the person who actually already has the results you want to have. So only ever take advice and listen to people who have already achieved what you want to achieve. If I'm speaking to somebody and they start criticizing my business, or they start criticizing my strategies, or they start criticizing me as a person, I always look at them and I go, let me see what you have achieved. And if I see that that person haven't achieved anything, I go, okay, thank you very much for your advice, etc. But I'm not going to use that information, because they haven't got the success that I want to have anyway. So why would they be in a position to advise me? But if somebody advises me and they have already got the success and the results that I want to have, I'm going to take that information seriously, because the only way to become successful is actually copy and do what successful people do. Okay, guys, so I hope you found this information useful this morning. And again, as I always say, don't let information lead to knowledge. Let information lead to action, right? So I hope you are taking some notes and take this information and now act on it. Think, what can I do now to actually get better at this? what of these 18 items I can implement today? What are some of these things I can do today to become more emotionally intelligent, right? And see how that can improve your life and see how that can improve your business. Okay, guys, you have a fantastic week. And as always, I will see you at the top.